Hello. Welcome back to Hassesput. And if you've been here before, you know the deal. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to rotate my camera the other way around because I wanted to show y'all some stuff. But I was working late. You guys know I do HR, and it was just communicating overseas, and I had to get all dressed up for my Skype. Gigi is finally going to bed. So I thought I would just give you a little bit, what we were talking about. So I know on my Hasses But Life page, if you're not there, it's my paid private page, and we talk about the things that happen with African American women in the United States. One of the most understated things is the stress that African American women go through in the workplace. It's actually increasing. So I actually want to go through a couple of articles with you guys because you guys know I'm all about economic empowerment, financial freedom. And I always encourage Black women, hey, you're up late with me, Owl, Andrea. But I always encourage Black women to diversify. Hey, good morning, to diversify their income. And the reason why I say that is in case you're in a job that's extremely stressful, you want the option to be able to walk away. Your mental health is the same thing as your physical health. It's tied together. In fact, your mental health can actually, oh, where are you? Your mental health can actually affect your body. Even more so than physical things that happen. So I was reading this whole essay here, and it's from the United States National Library of Medicine, the National Institute of Health. That's amazing, New Zealand. And it says that we're actually having an increasing amount of stress, and it's so funny because all this information is out there. But hey, how you guys doing? All this information is out there, but what's scary is that it's not being utilized either by either political party, by a Republican or it's just not being utilized. So it doesn't make any sense for United States National Library of Medicine and the National Institute of Health, that's where I'm getting this article from, to even produce this stuff if nobody's accessing it. So I wanted to say, hey, Trisha, I wanted to see how bad it was, because we can't fix the situation unless we know what's happening. We can't fix it. So I just want to read you a few things where it says right here. Black women face the same struggles as white women. However, they have to face issues of diversity and inequality. The purpose of this study was to explore work-related stressors that affect the lives of Black women and how they cope with them. Using exploratory design with grounded theory methods, 5 basic themes emerged that identify when racism and sexism are experienced as stressors for African American women in the workplace. The themes are being hired or promoted. So Black women start to feel more tension in the workplace when they're hired or promoted. So you can see a theme there. And you have, hey, what's up? And you see the reason why that happens is because you have a lot of Black women who are educated, who got their masters and their bachelors, and a lot are coming into the workforce at the same time. And with that coming into the workforce, you have people trying to push them back or, make their workplace hostile. Another stressor for Black women in the workplace is defending one's race and lack of mentorship or shifting of code to overcome barriers to employment, coping with racism and discrimination, being isolated or excluded. The results from this study indicate African American women use emotion and problem-focused coping responses to manage stress. And this article with a discussion of practices implicate these findings. So this is from the Journal of Science and Studies, United States. And it's just funny because as I'm looking at this, there's so many studies being done. But what action, hey, what's up? What action is being taken? That's what I want to know. And that's why I'm doing this video, to raise awareness. Because I think Black women don't get enough attention, not even enough. We get absolutely no attention to what is our challenges today. So it doesn't matter how much education we get. It doesn't matter how much strides we make. If we don't get the positive media for the things that we're doing, a lot of you watching this video don't even know that a Black woman is one of the most powerful people, period, on Wall Street. She commands over $1 trillion industry that she did it on her own. But that's the problem, is that the media likes to focus on the negativity, and it's going to be very hard for us to propel ourselves if we keep depending on them to do it for us. We have to elevate ourselves, and we got to take a massive initiative to raise awareness. Even if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to sell across diverse markets, you're going to have to sell across different demographics. So it's really important that we raise our commerciality, which means the possibility to market ourselves to other people. For years, I never thought I would see a movie like Black Panther be marketable with black women, black men, period, because for so long they say we're only marketable to ourselves. And that made our profitability margin extremely small. So now we have the facts are there, but also there's a lot of facts saying that in the workplace, black women are facing a lot of discrimination, on top of sexism, stress, hostility, especially when they get promoted. And that stress is affecting birth outcomes, that stress is affecting health, that stress is actually shortening lives. So it's not funny. Hey, Bunny. So it's not funny that people don't know this stuff. It's out there. So we got to take initiative. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, doesn't matter if you're Republican. No one is taking initiative. And the reason why is, the first thing, there's not enough black women in politics. There's not enough black women in Congress and Senate. We need to be in there to represent ourselves. It's not just about voting. We need people in government who's going to make policies and going to make, solutions and legislation based on these facts or what's happening there. So it's really important for you guys to know what's going on before you can solve the. So that's why I took the time out to look at it, to read it, to be sure, to secure my, my resources, and making sure that you guys are fully aware of what's happening, because you can't solve a problem if you don't know what's happening. So right here, okay, so it has physiological and psychological impact of racism and discrimination for African Americans. So this is from the American Psychological Association. So they actually review psychologically for African Americans, but they were looking specifically and seeing that, it's a layered thing. The study tests was a sociocultural model of stress and coping in a sample of 215 African Americans. And they saw that race-related stress was significantly more powerful risk factor than stressful life events. So I'm going to say it again. Race-related stress was significantly more powerful risk factor than a stressful life event. So that means more stressful than someone dying or something happened to you, for psychological distress. So structural equation modeling results confirmed hypothesis that psychological resources had a significant effect. And it's hard because you're pegged as the bad. It's almost as if we're pushed to be this passive black, but not too black, so they're comfortable, and that is being internalized, and it's becoming such a huge mental problem that they're actually doing a lot of studies on it, because they're seeing the chronic condition of stress was selected because prevalent people are having obesity issues, people are having anxiety issues, people are having hypertension issues, and I'm just shocked that in the United States, there's not enough people talking about this. This is what's important. Not all the crazy stuff that we talk about. This is facts. And I really believe if we want to see a change in this country, we're going to have to get involved. We're going to have to stop all the craziness and truly have people inside the political system, whichever side you want, who's going to vote for us, who's going to push for us. And that's not happening now. It doesn't matter who you're voting for. It's just not happening. Some of the things I'm reading here, I didn't know about until I started doing more and more research. So there's no way that's going to get to a platform so changes could be made. It's just not possible. So also right here, and CNN did a great piece called Working While Brown, What Discrimination Looks Like Now. So, hey, Bella, thank you for listening. So the interesting thing is that a lot of people, especially, women of color, when they hear racism, they think it's going to be blunt. Law. What they do now is discrete racism. Just if you're applying for a job, it'll purposely say a language that's not prerequisite for the job. It'll say French only or Italian only, and it's like go through crazy amount of interviews, and then somebody else for the same job will get the interview one, two times. That's discriminatory. The interview process has to be the same for everyone. Okay, yeah. And another way for them, that's true what you just said. I was reading what you just said. Another way for them to discriminate, which is really getting popular, is with recruiters. I've been doing a lot of cases lately with staffing agencies and recruiters because if you apply directly to the recruiter, that's not the company. And the recruiter can basically just filter people out by word of mouth. For instance, if I hire a recruiter, I can tell the recruiter, no black people or no Asian people, and you haven't actually applied. The recruiter is the first stage. And a lot of times that recruiter will filter that person out. And I've tested them out. I've done my little EEOC stings where I've given the same resume and they look you up on LinkedIn. And that's another problem too, is that they're using LinkedIn as a profiling measure. So basically they're going through LinkedIn and they're profiling. And it's not accurate. You're supposed to use LinkedIn for professionalism, not supposed to look at LinkedIn to see if the person's black, to see if the person is white. That's not supposed to, happen. But until the EEOC updates itself, see, gets up to with technology, that's not going to work. So right now, they're actually, talking about what are we going to do with social media? Because people are usually, they're using social media to discriminate. Like if you apply for a job, you'll see these unknown, these unknown views on your LinkedIn profile. And your LinkedIn profile is just your background on a computer. So if you're in LinkedIn, I mean, if you're not getting jobs off of LinkedIn, if you're not making successful networking off of LinkedIn, if your LinkedIn's not productive, I would say get rid of your LinkedIn. I would say. And also, what they're doing now is even if they can't find you on LinkedIn, they're going to your Facebook. There's a whole article that we were reviewing, and we're actually giving best practices to our associates and to our managers and telling them what they can and cannot do. People were going online seeing, oh, look, she goes to church on Sundays. I'm not going to hire her. People were going online saying, oh, she has kids, not going to hire her. That's all horribly illegal. And black women shouldn't be having these problems. That's the part that hurts me, is because black women are layered. And I talked about this in my private Hesesput group. I have a group, Hesesput Life. It's $10 a month. It's all about HR, diversity, recruiting, not recruiting, entrepreneurship, real estate, wealth building, diversifying your income, making money on the side. And that's why I love that page because it's private, there's no trolls, and it's serious. People who are there actually want to make money. And I tell people, I don't care if you're a nurse, lawyer, doctor, engineer, you should always be diversifying your income. If you want to become wealthy, you have to find a way to diversify your income and never rely on one source of income. You just can't. This is real shit. This is real shit. So you're going to see a lot of people having problems because there's a lot of black women who got educated at the same time. And they don't want black women in the market. They just passed a law that went to court and went to the Supreme Court where a black woman had natural hair and she had twists. And a Wall Street firm told her she had to cut these twists off, that she had to cut them off if she wanted to be there, if she wanted to work there. So, of course she didn't cut off her dreads. That's crazy. Why would you even take her through the interview process? Why even offer her the job? So it's a way for them to discriminate legally. And now they're in the process of talking about natural hair. It's ridiculous. It's the year 2018. And I'm telling black women, discrimination is real. It's not a joke. It's not an exaggeration. It's much more discreet. It's much more smarter now. People are finding ways to discriminate. They're looking at zip codes. They're looking at your name. They're guessing where you live. I had someone bring me resumes, and people were actually just looking at people's zip codes. They didn't want your address. I can tell how many Hispanic, how much black, how much white, how much Native American, Indian, Asian, tell demographics, and it's wrong. But if we don't know what's happening, we can't. I'm all about solutions. What can we do to fix the problem? My sisters, I'll tell you right now, diversify your income. This is not going to change for a while until we get into the political process, until we get people like us into Senate, into Congress, and they don't turn up and kiss ass. They actually go there and fight. Because black women, when I was reading, we're the highest voters in the United States, the largest voters. What we voting for if we're not getting what we want? And neither side is doing anything because neither side cares about the facts. Like you have black women getting anxiety. I'm reading it. Blood pressure, stroke, dying 6, 7 years. Black women are 80% of the breadwinners of the household. And I get frustrated because we get a lot of slack on how we should be and how we should look, and we're overweight. Of course you are, because you're the head of your household. You're having stress at work. You got to run your household. You got to clean your household. You got to be a parent. You got to make sure your child does their homework. And on top of all the daily stuff that any woman does, you got to deal with racial discrimination. And it affects your mentality. I'm reading it. It affects your psychological order, even when you're unemployed for a long time. So what I want us to do is raise awareness, diversify our income, and Bella, it's hard to take care of yourself when you don't have no one to help you out. It's not meant to be that way. It's not meant for us to be the head of the household. Then on top of that, you're paying all the bills. Then on top of that, you got to deal with people at work who might be discriminatory to you. You don't know your rights. So I want to talk about some of the rights you have. I don't think black people know the rights you have. The number one thing that gets filed with me is retaliation. So a lot of black people don't know you are federally covered in all 50 states not to be retaliated against. And hey, what's up? So retaliation means when you make a complaint, right? You file a complaint and they fire you, or they change your job, or they demote you. That's federally illegal. And the reason why is because way back, this country made a deal with all the private workers and employers and said, okay, we're not going to mandate unions, which means force unions, but that means that employer has a legal right to represent himself. So it's a very strong statute. It's very strong. It's not like something they play around with. The number one thing that gets filed with the EEOC is retaliation. When people bring something up and they get retaliated against. So even if they change your job, they change your schedule, they try to make your job more complicated, they do stuff to you. We're talking about human resources and stress with black women in the workplace, United States. Just trying to catch up here. And even if, they do a slight thing to your job, change your job title, deny you a promotion. These are all federally protected laws. They can get fined. You can have a lawsuit. But a lot of black women don't know their rights. A lot of black people don't know discrimination covers skin, covers hair, covers textures, facial features. A lot of black people don't know that under federal law, you're even protected if another black person discriminates against you. Okay? So it's serious. And a lot of black women who are professional like me, we're stuck because we're like, if we complain, angry black woman. If we don't, no angry black women, but I'm dying inside. My self-respect is going. My confidence is going. So I'm here to tell you this. A non-biased HR. I said, I'm not. Of course I have biases. If a white person tells you they don't have biases, they're lying. But I have to follow the law. So I can keep my biases to myself. I have to follow the law. I'm not allowed to go out there and make HR decisions or employment decisions or hiring decisions because of how I feel. Do I have biases? Yes, but I have to park them when it comes to following the law, the federal law of the United States of America. I take the laws, and that's, if you're going to look me in the eye and say you live in America where they have so much discrimination and so much stereotypes and all the craziness that we see on Facebook, we see on Twitter, there's nobody that's clean. But you have to 100% be dedicated to the law, which means you got to follow discrimination laws. You got to follow FMLA laws. You got to follow OSHA laws. You got to follow HIPAA laws. You got to follow American with Disability Act laws. So if you're working with anyone from HR and they're like, oh, I don't have biases, they're lying. What they should know is be committed to the law. Wow, you moved to New Zealand. Some real shit. But I, I'm going to tell you something. We have the internet, we have YouTube. Black women, listen to me. You are making choices to where you put your energy. We bullshit online. We bullshit online. If more and more black women did videos like this and said to their congressman and said to their senator, we're not voting, we're going to sit on our vote. If we started talking more about real issues, about stress and black women dying soon and black women having discrimination in the medical industry, if we start working and taking it serious, if we empower each other, and I'm here telling you what you can do in HR, how you can protect yourself, how you can file a case, because that's what I do with people. I help them do this. And I give these services not because I want to do it, but I see that black women don't have any idea that you are protected. You're protected because you're a woman. You're protected because you're black. Then if you're black and you're also a veteran and you're a woman, that's 3 layers. If you're black and you're a woman and you're over the age of 40, yeah, Andrea, speak it. And there are black, I was coaching a black woman 3 weeks ago, and she had a miscarriage because of the stress of work. That is unacceptable. She took all the stress until she had a miscarriage. I'm speaking to another black woman who has a master's in engineering and a master's in mathematics. So it's just, it's just very discriminatory. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, the racism is still alive, but black women they're so terrified of that negative stigma. And I'm here to tell you, the law is the law. Know the law. Empower yourself. If you're not sure, you can ask me. I can tell you how all the law is supposed to work. This is real shit because it doesn't matter if you become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. The higher you go, the more pushback you get. Let me tell you, I'm a black HR director. I'm the only one. So I know my shit, so nobody messes with me, but it's still hard because there's no one to network with. There's no one to cape for me in the boardroom. I got to make sure I do my job twice as good. There's no one to, say, okay, I'm going to be a team player. Because once you reach a certain pinnacle, they see you as competition because you're not an hourly, you're not a manager. Your salary. The next step for you is a VP. They want that position, and they're not used to seeing women of color in those positions. They're not. They're just not. And you have so many of us who got education, degrees, and we're all coming to the market. We're flooding the market at the same time. And it's, yeah, your family too. Your family will get on your nerves. But what I want to say is, I want to make it very clear. They're breaking the law. Your family's not breaking the law. They are. You need to know the United States law. You need to get to know the EEOC. If you're not sure, you can ask me. It's illegal for them to discriminate against you for any reason. And if you're black and you're a woman and you're over the age of 40, you got 3 federal laws protecting you. If you're pregnant and you're black, you got federal laws protecting you. If you're Christian, Muslim, and you're black, you can just stack them laws and walk around with that shit like a Sloman shield. They should be scared of you. When you come to work, they should be scared of you because you are legally protected by federal law in all 50 states. And your workplace is supposed to be a peaceful environment. It cannot be a hostile environment. So I really want black women to get empowered and know and not be scared to bring up when they break the law. And that's the hardest thing I have with black women. I'm like, they're breaking the law. Do you understand? If I went to the store and I took $1 out the register, there's no negotiation. I'm breaking the law. If you're speeding down the street and you go through the red light, there's no negotiation. I'm breaking the law. These are federal laws. It's not okay for them not to hire you because your name is LaQuisha. It's not okay for them to put the resume in the garbage because they can tell the zip code you from the Bronx or you from the hood. It's not okay for them to pay you less or hire you and underemploy you, which is a big problem for black women. You have a lot of black women who are working in lower positions because they can't get the high positions because of discrimination. And I was reading the documents that show it takes me 2 degrees just to make half of what a white woman or a quarter of what a white guy can make. And instead of getting upset, know these things. Talk to your congressman, write to your congressman, write to the EEOC. I can't be doing it by myself forever. And make these changes. We have daughters, we have sons, we have families. These changes have got to stop. And yep, that's right, Pia. And the thing is that I don't want to see black women stressed out no more. You got stress at home. You got stress with your man. You got stress with your kids. You got stress with your bills. You don't need to get paid to get tortured. You have a right to a peaceful, supportive, and positive work environment. It's federally mandated by law. It's actually in the EEOC. It says you cannot have a hostile work environment, period. People are getting money. People are getting millions of dollars. Look at Bank of America. Bank of America got off easy. Bank of America was caught discriminating since 1995. Over 1,000 employees. They got fined $2.1 million. To me, that's nothing. When I did the math, that it was like each person was getting only $2,000. You know what, Bella, you're absolutely right, but that's why I'm doing this. I have friends that are my fellow colleagues, and they're like, why are you doing this, Connie? Like, don't waste your time. But the thing is that if I don't do it, who's going to do it? If I don't say, this is, you can file these cases, you can get a lawsuit, you can get money, you can teach them, you know, you can, but the thing is that until we continue the torch, remember, somebody passed the torch. It used to be worse than this. I read American history, it was way worse than this. There were jobs, they won't even hire you. Back in the day, they didn't want no black nurses or black doctors. So we got to do our job and carry the torch. We got to use the power of YouTube. You see all those white kids marching for guns? You see they all walked out? You see they said no more and they want laws change? That's the way we need to be. We need to come together for things that make sense, not waste our time and our energy, because when it happens to you, it's going to be too late. There was a girl I was speaking to, beautiful, educated, gorgeous. And I was talking to her, listen to this story. I was talking to her about diversifying. And she said, I don't need to diversify. I'm a double major and I work at Pfizer and I have literally, it's like she jinxed herself. Within 2 months, she came back and was like, oh, I just got promoted and now I'm having problems at work. I'm like, who's giving you problems? She was like, Becky is giving me problems at work. And, I can't take the stress. And she was having, you know, cold sweats and her hands were shaking. I'm like, see, if you diversified your income, you could quit and you can sue their ass, collect all the information, file with the EEOC, get a right to sue letter, and sue their ass. You think other people put up with this? You think other demographics put up with this? I won't even say it because I don't want this video to get banned. You know exactly who I'm talking about. There's a special demographic. They don't tolerate this, and they don't like them either. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They don't like them either, but they have a lot of power. They stick together, and they don't play that shit. Let you say something anti-Semitic, your ass will be fired because they don't play that. They know the law like the back of their hand. And it's time for us to know the law like the back of our hand. That's why I'm giving you this YouTube channel. That's why I'm giving you this time. Ask questions, contact me. If you're having issues at work, I can help you with that. I do coaching, career coaching. I help people file EEOC cases. It's up to you to make that change, to let them know it's not okay to discriminate against you. It's not okay to break the law. And that's all I'm going to say. Like, I want to get it into your head. They're breaking the law. When we break the law, what happens? When we break the law, what happens? Someone say something. When we break the law, do we get a gray area? When we break the law, what happens? Sometimes we don't break the law and they still shoot your ass. So they're breaking federal law. And it's because you get fired. Thank you, Bella. You get fired. And there's people that are breaking multiple laws. Even if you're going through the hiring, you get a wig snatched. But I want black women to know you're not crazy. I want black women to know you're not that horrible. You're not that demonic. You're not. if to me, you know what I say? The proof is in the pudding. And if we were that bad, if we were that bad, they would have distress. They would be dying 5 years sooner. Their baby would be born premature. Exactly. It's true. If we're that bad, show me the receipts. Show me where white women are coming home from work. Oh my God, Shaquana was getting on my nerves today. You'll never hear that shit. We can't be aggressive to no white person at work. They fire our black ass like that. But we have given them the power because we're scared of being labeled. They're gonna fire you anyway. You might as well take the law into your hand. Know your EOC, know your Department of Labor, know your rights, and protect yourself. You're not doing anything bad. But I don't want to hear black women having miscarriages. I'm coaching you, you're telling me you lost your baby because your manager was being rude to you. This is crazy. Oh, I used to. Now, when you're an HR director, nobody nobody really discriminates against HR because we're like the lawyers in the building. When I was younger, yes. Remember, I'm 38. And when I was younger, I remember I used to work for Estee Lauder, Clinique, and working in cosmetics is very racist. I worked back then when lips weren't in style. And I wanted to have an executive career in cosmetics, and they told me to my face that I don't have aesthetic look. Because remember, Cindy Crawford was in style. Christy Brinkley, yeah, you mad late. Christy Brinkley was in style. All these other types of demographics, but not black women. I'm telling you, if you guys are 40 years old and older, or 35 and a little bit older, you will remember when big lips were ugly, where black skin, no matter what color, nobody would pick a black woman to be the face of Estee Lauder, like how they have Rihanna and Beyonce now. Those things were unheard of. Yeah, Macy's is racist as hell. Yeah, I shouldn't say that, but you can just go on the EEOC or you can just type up company names. A lot of companies, I got to be careful because, you know, I used to work for them, but it's not a shock. And I talk to a lot of black women who are executives because again, I do the coaching, I do the career coaching, I do the life coaching, and yeah, I remember I was teased. Yeah, yeah, they used to make fun of my lips, and I used to want to have Cindy Crawford lips. They used to call it slim and sexy back in the 80s, like with the big hair. Nobody wanted full lips. They were seen as monkey lips and stuff like that. Now people are paying for it. So, same thing with the booty. They used to call the butt ghetto booty. And guess what? Now people are paying for it. And it's kind of sad that the younger kids are never going to see that because they don't believe. When I used to tell, people who are 19, 18, that big asses weren't in style, they're like, shut up, Miss Connie. I'm like, yeah. They used to, you know, they used to say stuff. Monkey lips are thin, though. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was in Catholic school, they used to call me duck butt and make quack, 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 quack because, you know, they those stuff wasn't in style. And even now with black women, you'll see mostly lighter skinned or non-black women get more attention when they have black features. That's what they call it cultural appropriation, and some people get annoyed with that, but it's absolutely true because if you go on Instagram, you'll see that. Yeah, they were jealous, but I thought I was very ugly for a long time because I had big eyes and I had big lips, and I used to want to look like Vanessa Williams or Halle Berry because that's what I grew up with. I grew up with, if you weren't biracial or if you didn't have light eyes, you weren't beautiful. And I used to look at these, beautiful women of color, but they were clearly biracial and be like, damn, why can't my nose be straight? Why can't my lips be thin? And it's incredible in my own lifetime how everything, oh, thank you, how everything changed. Yeah, when Naomi Campbell came, she came in fierce. But even then, do you guys remember they used to pit Naomi Campbell against Tyra Banks for no reason? It used to be Tyra versus Noemi for no reason. Like the only two black models. They used to try to pit them against each other. And it was supposedly Noemi Campbell didn't like Tyra. They try to make black women so hateful to each other. So I'm gonna end the video soon. But if you guys need help with HR, career coaching, life coaching, I'm here for you. Cause I get so like compassionate with it because I see so many black women are suffering. you know, Tyra helped you with your forehead. Big foreheads are beautiful, yes. But I see so many black women are suffering, and it's not necessary. You know, there's help out there. There's more than one Connie. There's a lot of black women who are trying to help and going out there and trying to stop this because it's only going to get worse as we get more and more educated. We have to make our own companies. We have to start working for. Same thing with asses. I grew up in a time when asses was not in style. Do y'all remember the show The Facts of Life? And they dissed Tootie and said, "You got a big butt," or Legally Blonde. Remember those movies? Ugh, you got a big butt. Like that wasn't a compliment back in the day. It's not until they figured out. Yeah, until Sir Mix-a-Lot. It's not until they figured out how to get that ass implant, how to do that fat transfer. I grew up with Twiggy. Y'all don't remember Twiggy. And Kate Moss. I had a poster of Kate Moss in my bedroom because she was all over. And I used to say, gosh, I wish I was that skinny. Now I'm like, damn, I want to be more thick. Yeah, you remember Twiggy. And Pia is right. That's right. And I remember the first time I ever saw someone with big lips. It was in the media. It was Angelina Jolie, and white people act like that's the first time they've seen full lips. She's so beautiful. And don't get me wrong, she's beautiful, but she's not the only person with full lips. And she made full lips sexy. It's kind of sad, right? And I was like, wait a minute, this is okay now? Now, I don't know. No, Twiggy was white. She was a very slim model. Yeah, she was a very slim model. He said she looked deflated. You can look her up. You can look her up. She, in the 70s and the 80s, and she's thin. And Kate Moss, she was a Calvin Klein model, and she made a heroin chic, famous. So, you know what, guys? I'm gonna go and try to get some sleep. Gotta be up in the morning. So again, I'm gonna put the links there with all the information. I just don't want my sisters to suffer anymore. And like I said, I'm here for you. I'll help you guys and ask me questions. Don't be shy. If you want to join my page, let me know. It's true. It's true. Well, good night. And I'm here for you guys. Bye bye.